Hey, this is Gary Mintchell, and this is Gary on Manufacturing. And before I started, I want to just reiterate some things I've been talking about lately. I have a new project going on, and the new project is called The Manufacturing Connection. And I wanted to try to cover some things that really don't get covered by the other business-to-business media for a lot of reasons. And I think they're very important. And there are people out there who think they're very important. This would be the connected manufacturing enterprise. And so I want to talk about it could be called the Internet of Things, or I would call them connected process devices or factory devices, and feeding the connected execution layer. And so this is operations management, analytics, manufacturing intelligence, all that sort of thing, and then connecting into the ERP level, at least as far as it relates into manufacturing. Don't have a lot of interest personally in HR and accounting stuff, although there's some accounting that I'll want to cover also, is such things as resource consumption accounting as it fits into this whole area of MES and connected enterprise. Anyway, the Manufacturing Connection, watch for it coming soon. You can go to the website, themanufacturingconnection.com, and register your email and be notified when we're live and ready to go. And basically what I'll be doing is taking my blog, which has been a hobby for the last 9.5 years, and turning that into a business, along with some other business things I want to do too. And I just felt it was time to go try some new things and branch out on my own and be creative again. So let me talk about 3 things that I learned at the MARTS conference and why you need to care. Especially because a lot of the people who listen to this aren't in maintenance and reliability, and MARTS is Maintenance and Reliability Technology Summit. And I speak there occasionally, about every other year or so, and the trouble I always have is trying to understand my audience. There are audiences I go into and I know exactly where they're at, what they're coming from, what they need, and I can give them something. And at MARTS, I've never been 100% sure, plus they give me an hour time slot, and then I always panic on how am I going to fill an hour up. And you don't want to give somebody, not only do I have this engineering background, I have this liberal arts background, and liberal arts people can go on forever. The first thing I learned when I took my first liberal arts course was I answered the questions like an engineer. What I answered, I got a D. I said, how could I get a D? I got every question right. No, you didn't explain enough. So anyway, I learned to do that. But still, so the feedback I got, and immediately upon on my presentation that I gave, was that these maintenance people, by and large, almost are like a forgotten subgroup within manufacturing in many ways. Another person there said, hey, the maintenance people are like they're like the people at the bottom of the hill and all the stuff slides down. And, okay, so that was the analogy he used for that. I go to conference after conference after conference, and they're always talking about how all these technologies break down silos and barriers, and we get everybody working together, and operations and engineering seem to be getting along better. But then there's the maintenance side of things, and sometimes they seem to be in their own world and not participating. Not always. There are some places that are progressive and they do bring the whole team in. I have toured some of those plants, and God bless them. It's just so super. So that's one of the first things I learned when I went in there is, this silo breaking down thing is still got a long ways to go, and we need to get the maintenance people more involved. And the question that stopped me was I was talking about diagnostics from, say, Fieldbus or HART, and then connecting that to the MES level, which the reason that they need to care is they get a work order from CMMS because an operator says, I see a problem, click, 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 boom, the CMMS system sends it out. How do they know what to do? Well, they don't always. They just go trotting out, investigate, go back to the shed, get their tools, equipment, parts, and everything they need, and then go back out and fix it. And there's a lot of wasted time. And if they had a connection into say, an MES system that's got a lot more information analytics, heck, they might even know about it ahead of time and be able to do some preventive stuff rather than reaction stuff. So, and the guy says, is this real? The engineers and people in my plant say that it's not really real. You really can't do that. And after I was shocked, and a couple of people in the room said, yeah, we use Foundation Fieldbus. We're doing, valve partial stroke testing and different things and using Fieldbus. And the other people One guy brought out an objection that I last heard like 8 or 9 years ago, and I thought that they were well past that. So the first thing is pretty much let's get some education and bring the maintenance people in and make them part of the team. Let's truly break down these silos and get them involved. And most of the plants I've been in where I've seen this are discrete manufacturing, where they are doing lean. And in lean, they are bringing the team together. Where they bring in maintenance people and operations people and engineering people and management and heck, maybe somebody from the office. I've seen that happen too, just as part of a team. But in their daily stand-ups, they'll have everybody there, so everybody knows what the problems are. What did they occur on the last shift? What do we need to do? Get them all together. So the first thing is we need to bring everything together. Second thing we do is training. Let's let these people know about how to use heart diagnostics. Every process plant has heart. I'll guarantee it. You may not know it, you may not be using it, you may be using only the 4 to 20 milliamp analog signals, but there's data coming out of those heart devices that you could tap into, and you could save yourself a climb up to the top of a tower by plugging into the network at some local point, looking at the network, looking at the devices and seeing what's going on, and then being better prepared before you make that climb up to the top of the tower. So and there are a lot of other things. The talking to Alan Johnston and the OGI, Oil and Gas Interoperability pilot program that he's working on, and the ecosystem that he's working on, and the maintenance people stand to gain a lot from that. And the OGI interoperability means that the data is interoperable from the design to the operations to the maintenance system, such that when there's a startup, and I talked to a director of maintenance in a refinery startup, and he says, oh, you're describing my problem exactly. We just had the handover. I'm going out there. I'm trying to get things fixed. And the documentation I got was all in PDF, which is basically worthless because it's probably old. And so something I need to know a spec, or I need to know what that part number is, or I need to know the features or troubleshooting tips or anything I need to know about it, I can't find it. And the OGI pilot program, which is a proof of concept, if you will, probably more than a proof of concept, and the ecosystem they're working on with the OGI is designed to bring that all in. Well, the maintenance reliability people, as we discussed, need to learn to ask for this stuff. Ask for real live data about all the components and the parts and the features and the diagnostic information available and all the things that there are available. They need to be part of the team so they can ask for it and say, hey, I can use this stuff. I could do the job better so that I could assure availability of processes much better than I can now. And the third part of this thing is bringing in the MES, and I talked to the MES people a couple of weeks ago at their conference, and they're really big on education because they want the customers and the providers to talk the same language so that there's a lot less miscommunication, and such that when a project is procured, purchased, and designed and implemented, that they're all talking the same language, and the project then goes better because they don't say, oh, I thought you meant this. No, I meant this. No, you ever been in one of those projects? I have. And I learned a long time ago as a manager of project managers to go into the meeting when things are going south and say, okay, everybody stop. What are we doing step by step by step? And you know what? It's 30 years later. Nah, 25, but it was a long time ago. But, we still have these, it's a people problem of defining terms and making sure we're all on the same page. So we have training. So let's bring those maintenance people in. If you are in maintenance and reliability departments or a plant manager or something like that, let's make sure we're all bringing them together and not to fight like some of the plants when I was working. Let's bring them together so we all talk. Let's teach everybody all these technologies that we have. They're just fantastic and can help everybody do their jobs better. And that's what I love, is the appropriate use of technology to make manufacturing better. So this is Gary Mintchell. That was 3 things I learned at MARTS. And this is Gary on manufacturing. And watch for the Manufacturing Connection coming up soon.